Pakistan, a land of great diversity. Located in Central Asia, with Afghanistan and Iran bordering on the west, China on the north, and India on the east, Pakistan is home to over 170 million people representing numerous ethnic groups and over 20 different languages. From bustling cities to quiet villages. From ancient monuments to new buildings. From mountainous, earthquake-prone terrain to lush village farms bursting with rice harvest. From vehicles on fast motorways to horse-drawn tongas in the villages and cities. Pakistan is a land of great historical and cultural wealth. From this heritage emerges the fabric of Pakistan's hand-knotted Oriental rug tradition. This craft has changed very little over the course of centuries. Rugs are still crafted with the tools and skills passed down through the generations. A quality rug is produced with quality materials, quality dyes, and skilled adult hands, a process that is supported by paying fair wages to the artisans. A commitment to fair wages is at the heart of Bunyaad, a Pakistani job creation program involving over 850 families from over 100 villages. With its name meaning foundation in Urdu, Bunyaad provides a fair living wage to its artisans, supports individual creativity and artistry, and provides economic, social, and educational assistance in the villages where it works. This program revives the ancient art of Oriental rug production by giving these skilled artisans complete artistic creativity over crafting their one-of-a-kind pieces in their homes. Home-based rug knotting fosters a perfect situation for both men and women in the villages to have equal access to a fair living wage. It also supports village development as the artists live in their home communities and develop their home communities. A quality rug still takes time. Time that, if fairly compensated, produces exquisite results. Today, a variety of rugs are being produced in the villages of Pakistan, from hand-spun wool natural dye rugs to the exquisitely detailed Persians. Although such a variety of carpets are being produced, they are all produced with the same basic techniques. Wool rich in lanolin is shorn primarily from domestically raised Dumba sheep, preserving the shepherding culture throughout Pakistan. This sheep carries an extra fat pack on its tail, adding the extra lanolin needed for good wool. The wool then goes for cleaning and spinning. For some rugs, the wool is cleaned, carded, and spun by machine, creating a fine, even yarn as it passes through the various spinning machines. For some tribal rugs, this process is done by hand, with the spinning being done either by a drop spindle or a spinning wheel. This is a very labor-intensive process, creating a more nubbly yarn. The wool then goes for dyeing. Boiled in large copper pots heated mostly by natural gas, 2 bundles of wool take approximately 1.5 to 3 hours to dye. Wool is primarily dyed with steadfast synthetic dyes, giving artisans a varied palette of colors to work with. In recent years, these artisans have been working more with natural dyes. Consistent dyeing temperatures, high-quality dyes, and natural fixatives like salt are producing durable, fade-proof results. Materials like walnut shells, pomegranate skins, tree barks, orange peels, insect bodies, and plant roots fill the ingredient lists of many natural dye recipes. Natural dyes are quite labor-intensive, as it takes a lot of time to gather and prepare enough of the raw materials to create the desired dyes. For example, to create this color, an artisan mixes together roasted pomegranate shells, walnut shells, and spark flowers, and cooks it for several hours until the dyed wool is properly prepared. Fair trade supports this return to natural dyeing by fairly compensating artisans for their increased labor in naturally dyed rugs. Designs are crafted both by skilled artisans as well as jointly with master designers. Most designs are inspired by things found in nature, in architecture, and from each artisan's ethnic heritage. A master designer first sketches a design onto graph paper with pencil, taking anywhere between a few days to a couple of weeks to complete. This artist apprentices for many years before becoming a master designer. Once graphed, the artist then decides on color, carefully painting the design with watercolors, first the large expanses and then the finer details. The design is then converted into a special script called talim. The talim reads like a large counted cross-stitch pattern, with each symbol representing a color with the appropriate number of knots written above it. Meanwhile, in the villages, the warp, the backbone of the rug, is set up. Usually done in the village square or house courtyard, the warp is constructed of wool or cotton thread. One warp usually takes 3 days to complete. These rugs are constructed on looms made from wood and steel pipes. Most of these rugs use a knot called a senna knot, or an asymmetrical knot. An expert knotter can knot around 40 knots a minute. A 9x12 Persian carpet at 500 knots per square inch takes 4 to 5 people working side by side 6 hours a day, approximately 1 year, 2 months to complete. A knotter can either work from the talim themselves or have it read to them. The talim sounds something like this: 2 copper, 5 red, 3 yellow, 2 black. Generally, one knotter calls for the entire loom, even when most artisans have the instructions written in front of them. Adults in the family work together on the looms. For example, a husband, wife, and the husband's brothers may work together on one rug. Once one row is completed, a weft thread is shuttled through the warp to secure that row. A comb-like tool called the panja is then used to press down the weft thread and pack the knots to produce quality. These tools are as ancient as the skill itself. The completed row is then trimmed with scissors to keep an even pile. This is important for good washing. On average, most artisans work 5 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. Since looms are set up in the artisans' village homes, they can work on the looms during times that fit around their other work and household schedules. As many combine their rug knotting with other seasonal jobs, like planting and harvesting, most artisans work a full-time equivalent of 7 months a year on the loom. This flexibility gives each artisan the most choice in their lives. Once finished, the rug is cut off the loom with large scissors and transported to the city for finishing. The rug first goes for burning. A natural gas flame is brushed over the back of the carpet to burn off excess wool fuzz that has fallen onto the back. This is the only effective way to clean the back of wool fuzz. The carpet does not burn, however, because of the lanolin naturally found in the wool. Artisans begin the washing process by scrubbing the front of the rug with rich bar soap to clean out the dirt that has settled during production, and as a first step toward the final shine. The rug is then scrubbed with plastic bristle brushes, first with soap and water, and then with bleach water. The bleach helps to wash out extra color. This secures the dye so that when the carpet is washed in the home, no color should run out. The rug is then washed again with just soap and water. Scrubbing is very important for the final shine. The washing process for one rug takes a week to 10 days to complete, depending on the type of the rug washed and the weather. The rug is then rinsed with water, and a squeegee-like steel-bladed tool called the pora shuffles water from the rug. This step needs to be done with care, as the pora's blade is quite sharp and could easily cut the nearly completed rug. After washing, the rugs are spread on flat rooftops or hung from the sides of buildings to dry. Under good sunny conditions, it takes 2 to 3 days for a rug to dry. Sunlight is very important during the drying process as it helps to make the colors more brilliant. Once dry, the rug is rolled and taken for shearing. With the rug draped over a steel pipe, the skilled artisan uses a large scissors to shear the pile to the desired length. The size of the pipe ranges from 2 to 10 inches, depending on the type of the rug being sheared. An artisan trains for 3 years before becoming an expert shearer, as it takes a lot of skill to achieve an even pile over the expanse of a rug with only a large scissors. Nothing goes to waste in rug production. Excess wool generated from the rug and from shearing is used for pillow stuffing. The rug then goes for stretching. Wet slightly and nailed to wooden pallets, rugs are blocked to produce a final, even sizing. While being blocked, a natural paste made from the neem tree is applied to the back of the rug, naturally moth-proofing it for life. On the loom, when the knotter shuttles the weft thread through, the loose edge of the thread is pulled toward the front and cut into the row of knots. Now at the finishing process, these white threads are clipped out, leaving the structure of the rug untouched. The rug is then finished by an artisan tying the fringes, the remaining unknotted warp threads. Fringes can be tied in several ways, from a simple knot to exquisite needlework. This protects the carpet by holding the knots. The rug can be threadbare, but if the warp and weft threads are held together, the rug remains strong. Finally, the fringes are brushed straight and trimmed to an even length. By the time the rug reaches this process, it shows the combined effort of nearly 15 people, with the artisan who knotted the rug having spent the most time. With the looms located inside the artisans' homes, it gives increased and equal opportunity for women. Job opportunities are scarce in the villages. Farming and brickmaking are virtually the only jobs. Both are seasonal jobs and mostly given to men. Some women weave or embroider to earn extra income. Yet working with this rug program, rug knotting at home can be done year-round by both men and women. Sale of these rugs helps to support numerous schools in Pakistan. With the literacy rate in Pakistan only around 49%, these schools are helping to educate children who otherwise might not have the chance at an education. The girls' school in the village of Daranwala has grown to over 800 students, kindergarten through 12th grade. As these children leave the school, they know that their education will lead them to a brighter, stronger future. A future in which they will help create a better world for others. A future in which they can choose to become a teacher, a doctor, a musician, or a rug knotter. Nishan Ali is a rug washer and has worked with this artisan group for many years. We have just expanded our washing facilities. This means we can accomplish more work. This will create more jobs and make people very happy because they know they receive a fair wage that supports their families. Fair trade helps in the development of villages as it allows people to stay in their home village, working, living, and improving their village. Fair trade is preserving the art of Oriental rugs. Supporting fair trade in your purchase decision shows your support for just and fairly paid employment around the world. Through fair trade, people are respected, quality is produced, and an art form is preserved.